Do not let the holidays make your menopause worse. Are you getting even more stressed out over the holidays than you usually would? Let's talk about this today. I'm going to give you actual tangible strategies that you can use to make your holidays be a breeze. So stay tuned. Are you getting stressed out, worried about making your holidays perfect? Maybe you are anticipating in laws or family conflict that occurs every year like clockwork. Maybe you're being expected to be in multiple places at once. That can be stressful because, yeah, that doesn't work, right? Maybe you're busy with business and work deadlines at the end of the year and you're trying to fit in the holiday festivities too, and you're not even enjoying it because you're too stressed out. Stress triggers menopause symptoms. So it's very important for you to find more balance. I know balance, that's cliche and it might sound like a pipe dream to some of you. But let's look at some solid strategies that you can actually use today. All right, number one. This one, I know some of you are going to resist this, but let's just be open minded here, okay? Because do you want to enjoy your holidays or do you want to be stressed out? So if you want to enjoy them, take my tips to heart, okay? Declutter your holiday schedule. Guess what? You don't have to do it all. It doesn't have to be this crazy hectic schedule. Evaluate what really needs to be done and what doesn't. And be freaking ruthless here. Ruthless. Seriously. Is it a must do? I mean, is it one of your grandkids' recitals? Your Christmas recital? Yeah, go to it because that's what matters. Look at your values. What are you valuing when you look at your list? And what are you making a priority? Are you making family a priority? Are you making work a priority? I mean, yeah, to some degree it needs to be, but also balance, remember? Is it a must do? If it is, who decided that and on what criteria? If it's a must do, what's the criteria? Look at your criteria. Does it really match what you value? Does it really match what's most important to you? And I'm telling you, be ruthless here because I know that sometimes people just get caught up in this is just what we always do. It's tradition. It's tradition. Guess what? It's tradition is not a good criteria because it's possible that nobody really cares that much about it. Check in. Check in with your family. I mean, if people really do care about it, yeah, maybe. But get real with yourself, okay? Is it really that important? And then another criteria is it something that you really love to do? Now, here again, check in with your inner self. Ask yourself, is it really something I love or is it just something I used to love? Or is it something that somebody else used to love? Or is it something that somebody else still loves? Old habits can be really hard to break. That's where we go back to that tradition. Don't get caught up in that. Evaluate it. Evaluate all of the things you're doing ruthlessly and make new traditions, because sometimes that's better. We had this tradition of having Thanksgiving at my mom's house. And we started going to my cousins instead. And Christmas Eve, not Thanksgiving, sorry. Christmas Eve, we would do at my mom's house. And last year we ended up going to my cousin's house. And at first I was like, oh, I don't like this. I don't want to go somewhere else. And you know what? And then I told myself, all right, it's going to be less work for mom. Maybe it'll be better, and we can leave when we want to. So yeah, and it ended up being really great. Even though I'm talking about this, I still was pretty stubborn about it for a minute last year. But then I was like, what? That's silly. Of course that's easier. That makes more sense. She has a bigger space. There's more people, yada, yada. And always around it made more sense. And it was actually really great. Check in with yourself. Now, if you checked in with your own heart and you decided, yes, you really do love it, this really is something you want to do, then put that at the top of your priority list. And then be realistic about what can be done and what needs to be done. Also consider what you can delegate. So be realistic about what you can actually do by yourself. You're one person. I know me, I always overestimate what I want to get done. My to-do list tends to be overpacked. I actually stopped making a to-do list for a while, and I started putting things on my calendar instead and blocking out time. And I found I was never blocking out enough time. And when you do that, when you put that on your calendar and you're like, okay, this is how much time I'm going to need to do this task, and you start putting those things on your actual calendar, you can see what you can do and what you can't do. And when you don't give yourself enough time for stuff, you just end up moving it and shuffling it. When you don't give yourself enough white space, you end up moving things and shuffling them. But it helped me get a better grip on what I can really get done in a certain amount of time. I highly recommend doing that. I also recommend delegating. Delegate the things that you know other people can do, or even the things that you're not sure they can do. But maybe those less critical things. I know it's hard. It's hard for type A personality, and I am a type A too, so it's very hard for me to delegate. You got to learn how to let go of things being exactly the way that you want them to be. And when I did that, I will tell you, I became a lot less stressed. Trust other people to get things done, even if it isn't exactly the way you would have done it. Who cares? It's probably not that important. Prioritize self-care. I know, cliche, so cliche. And guess what? It's true. Cliches are often true. When our routine gets whacked with something different, like the holidays, it's so easy to get out of your self-care routine, if you even had one at all. So here's my top 3 to make sure that you do daily. 1, move your body. Yoga is a great one for this because it's gentle and you don't really have to do anything tough. And I also have a way to combine it with number 2. Number 2 is meditation. Do some meditation. You can just do 5 or 10 minutes, and that's going to help you. And you can combine it with your yoga, so you are multitasking and you're 10xing the effects. That's not an official studied number. I'm just throwing that out there. But when I do yoga and I'm doing it all zen and meditating at the same time, it just feels like maximum impact, right? And then self-care tip number 3, drink plenty of water. The next thing to do is kind of self-care also, but slow down, right? I don't care how busy you are. Running around like a chicken with your head cut off, it's just not healthy. And it's not actually more productive. That might be shocking to you. But guess what? When you are running around all in a flurry, I have so much to do and I'm so busy, you're actually not getting more done. When you slow down and you take the time to think through what you're doing and what really needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done, and you're not flitting over from one thing to the next, and you're just focusing on one thing, getting it done, moving on to the next thing, you will actually find that you will be more productive. Focus on that. Do one thing at a time. Make sure the things you're doing really count. Like we talked about earlier, check in with your heart. If it doesn't speak to your heart, then just ditch it, okay? I mean, yes, some things do need to be done, for your work or your business. But if it's not resonating with your heart for the Christmas stuff, don't do it anymore. It's okay to change your traditions. I promise it is. Stress less, breathe, and take all of this to heart, please. And let me know, actually. Let me know which tools resonate with you the most, and let me know when you try to use them and how they work out, okay? Get on my VIP insider list, and you will be able to contact me directly, and you will also get tips that you do not get anywhere else, and you can check out my hormonal harmony quest. I'll see you next time.